Hey, what's going on? JD here, and this is the Daily JD. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Hit that bell button. And there is something we're going to talk about with the bell button anyways today. But hit that bell button so you do, in fact, get notifications when we do go live, as well as you can follow us on all our socials. They're there in the comments at Paint Inc. at Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I always tweet out before I go live on Twitter. So if you don't have those notifications gone, at least if you're following me on Twitter, you'll get the notifications. So how is it going, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, Rob. Yes, YouTube can't hold me back. Yeah, it's working today. And I mean, honestly, from Tuesday to today, nothing has changed on my setup, nothing at all, and it works. So it had to have been a YouTube ingestion stream problem that caused us not to go live the other day. But happy to be back. Although I will say that, going live on Facebook was an interesting experiment. Thank you for everybody that came over to Facebook to watch the live stream there. A bit of a different thing. The one thing that was a bit weird for me is the comments don't scroll. So right now, as you guys are commenting, and again, good to see you, Rob. Good to see you reviewing. Good to see you, Craftsmith. Thank you so much for tuning in. Is the fact that it doesn't scroll along. So I thought I was at the bottom of the comments and there was a big conversation going on underneath. So it was a bit different, but I do have to say, I mean, it works really well. I just streamed it directly off the laptop. There was no audio input. There was nothing special about the setup. It was just straight off my laptop. So it went the way it did. So thanks for everybody on Tuesday that sort of jumped over there. And I know Nick couldn't make it because Nick's off Facebook. Like a sane person. But again, thanks for tuning in. And of course, before we get going, because we haven't done this at all this week, of course, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. So thank you for your continued support over on Patreon. The link is there. So thanks to Rob Jameson. You can check out his channel. His link is there, as well as Reviewy McReviewface. So both those guys supporting us over on Patreon. And as well, we've got our YouTube sponsors or members. When they hit that join button, we've got none other than Josh WRB and Mum's Universe. And that's why Mum's Universe has got the cool looking color and the nice little icon for his continued support month after month. Appreciate it, guys, as is tradition. So what do we got going on today? Some hellos. There was a Facebook Live. I missed that. Yeah, it's Tuesday was a disaster. YouTube's ingestion streamers were not working, so no matter what I did, I wasn't going to go live. It just wasn't working at all. And it was on YouTube's end, not mine, because the setup is exactly the same here. I haven't changed anything, and it works perfectly today. So there you go. Hey, JD, how's it going? Severe storm incoming. Awesome. What I always look forward to in Alberta are severe storms. And I guess I should know, because it is like boiling in my office. It is like super hot, because of all the construction, which has been going on for like years now, it seems, on the former golf course behind my home. I can't open my windows because, number one, I have a construction worker over there who is a total, and I'm going to say it, you're a fucking dick, dude. You're a fucking dick. Like, I don't need to hear your music just because you're roofing, framing, all that kind of stuff blasting at the top. I mean, just tone it down just a little bit. I don't mind you listening to music, all that kind of stuff, but to the point that I can't open my windows because it's so loud. But besides that, I wouldn't do it anyways. I can hear it through my walls, actually. And, the dust and dirt because of construction, it just gets in the office and it just makes a big mess. But that's kind of how that goes. So there you go. Always my pleasure. Hey, any chance I could swap out the link you share for, say, the next 2 months or so? Absolutely. You send me whatever link you would like, Reviewy, and I will throw that up. That is not a problem, man. I appreciate the support, and wherever you want me to direct traffic, I will absolutely do that. So if that's your Twitch or your event that you've got coming up, we can absolutely do that, and we can definitely show that as well. Oh yes, that's right. You've got the website as well. So yeah, we will make that change. For the next cast. knock on wood that I don't forget it like 2 seconds later, like a goldfish. But just send me a tweet. Best way to do it is send me a tweet message, and then it's there and on my computer instead of me going back into the live stream to track it down. And probably, I'm like a goldfish. It's like 3 seconds. I think that's something with being creative is you're kind of bouncing around and you're doing a bunch of things, and then you realize what you were actually supposed to be doing this whole time you never did. And I do that a lot. So I work on like these little mini projects and I bounce around, and then it's like, you know what, that had a deadline. I need to get on that like right now. And then I end up working really, really late. So, there we go. We'll do that for sure. Awesome. So check that out as well. If you're in the chat now, by all means, check out Trevor's site there. Head over. He's looking for some support. It looks like a really cool event. It'll be interesting to see what you come out, because I know creative video wise, you've got some great ideas, and I'm looking forward to this one, as well. Rob says, my grunge rumble is about to crack 7K. I'm freaking out. Doubled since this morning. That's awesome, man. Like, it's interesting, how, again, small platforms, you get a lot more sort of, love than you do on larger platforms. And it's kind of interesting as well, because what we're going to talk about today is, sort of the 1% of YouTube. And, it's kind of funny. It's an interesting study. It's an interesting analysis of videos on YouTube. And it just shows you how difficult, in a sense, it is to kind of crack those numbers. So, the title of this video is essentially YouTube's 1%, not what you might expect. Because when I read this article, it was not what I expected. But basically, the indication is that on YouTube, about 1% of the videos that are out there, which is still a huge number by all means, 1% of the videos will only make it over 100,000 views. In fact, the exact number is 0.64%. So if you make a video, 0.64% of those videos that are made will crack the 100K mark. I think I have one. I think I have another one that's close. But it's very interesting in the sense that it's such a small percentage of videos that make it over that 100K. In fact, the vast majority of YouTube videos get under 1,000. In fact, 94% of YouTube videos never crack 1,000 views. So if you're cracking 1,000 views, that's awesome. If you're doing that kind of number on YouTube, you can consider yourself accomplished. That you're sort of breaking out of that percentage that of people that are floating above there. And I'll tell you, the vast majority of videos that I have are well under 1,000. I'm usually lucky to break, especially with vlogs, about 100 views. So it just goes to show you that the algorithm with YouTube and getting exposure and being found on YouTube is sometimes a very, very difficult task. And I've said this before. I watched some videos of some very, very talented people on YouTube, and it's crazy, the amount of production value and what they're putting out there, and they'll have like 50, 60 views. It boggles my mind, so it just goes to show you got to keep on creating and do what you love. And the thing is that when you put things out in the universe as well, is that even though you make something, there is a potential chance that it just kind of blows up. And Reviewee experienced that with his condom video that blew up his channel, just all of a sudden blew out of nowhere. I know that Dan, the DXT, he has had a couple videos that have done that as well, and it just kind of happens out of nowhere. So, I'm a person that says, if you're going to create content, leave it there. Just always kind of leave it there, because you never know where lightning is going to strike, and it does, as Review suggests there, it comes out of nowhere. So very, very interesting. Going back to the comments, Rob says his grunge video on Rumble is about to crack 7K, which is awesome. It's doubled. What's Rumble? I'm out of touch. So Rumble is, I'll throw the link up there. is a social media platform. It is more along the kin of things like Vines or short videos. You talk about topics. It's all done through your cell phone. You're not doing any editing. It's just kind of a quick kind of talk. I came across it. They actually emailed me about a month ago now, not even a month ago. It's been a few weeks. So I've been on there sort of playing around, and my philosophy with these platforms, and, for those of you who have watched The Daily for some time, know that I like to experiment with new platforms. I did it with Vero, I did it with VidMe, and, you have varying successes on all these types of platforms. The nice thing about smaller platforms is that you have the opportunity, because the pool is a lot smaller. Unlike, YouTube, which gets millions and millions of uploads every day, they're probably not seeing that kind of volume yet. So due to the fact that that occurs, you have a greater opportunity of being seen. And I mean, guys like Mum's Universe Woodrow was on VidMe as well. And I think, his experience was probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, Woodrow, very similar to myself, in the sense that I saw growth on VidMe, much greater than I ever did on YouTube. And in fact, I would post videos, the exact same videos, and I would get, thousands of views on VidMe, and I would get like 20, 40, 50 on YouTube. So it was nice to kind of establish that audience. And then, of course, VidMe ended. But the nice thing is that you establish friendships and a network via some of these platforms. Out of all those people that were subscribed to the channel, I know some people came across. I've had a great, relationship with Woodrow, as well as the Brew Monks. And I think it is, probably, the best thing that came out of that are those kind of friendships and that kind of support from those guys. And that's why, I say, being on a smaller platform, you might not be making millions and millions of dollars or anything like that. You're probably not doing that on YouTube anyways. I'm not. I know that for sure. But at the end of the day is that you are cultivating an audience. And if you have somewhere to bring them and you can spread them about, is that, there's nothing bad about that whatsoever. I've been in regular communication with Rumble. I do have like a little conference call with them in a couple weeks. They rescheduled from yesterday. I have actually a call after this live stream with one of the staff over there as well. So, I mean, again, establishing those kind of relationships when they reach out to you is something that goes on in the future. There are some developers, part of the VidMe team, although they're doing some weird cryptocurrency stuff now, that I still have regular contact with, because if they go back into the video game, because of how they are, I want to be there, and how they sort of conducted themselves, because VidMe had a lot of bad press at the time. And, when they shut down, I was making money on VidMe. I was actually getting, money sent to me via people that were watching it through donations, as well as people that were subscribed to the channel. And people said, "Oh, you're never going to see anything. They're just going to pull the plug." Even after they were all said and done, pulled the plug, you know what? They paid me. Which I didn't expect. Most times when companies shut down, they don't do that kind of stuff, but they paid me, which tells me a lot about the people that were involved. It wasn't sustainable. It was a failed kind of experiment, but they probably learned a lot, took that information, moved on to the next project, and it's always good to have those kind of associations, those people, that kind of network out there. So, I mean, there's always a future moving forward. At some point something will fail. There's always, kind of a start, beginning, and end. It doesn't matter what it is, but people always tend to resurface, in some other way, shape, or form. I mean, even if you take an example of, sort of larger YouTubers like Casey Neistat, he reinvents himself every once in a while. I mean, he doesn't shut down his channel, but, there was a time when Casey's viewership and subscribers were dropping significantly when he stopped daily vlogging after his first daily vlogging experiment. He came back, he reinvented himself, he did the 368, he bolstered himself again, he's moving to LA now. Again, a different change. It's just kind of how the world works. It's you just kind of keep moving forward as best you can. So I'm going to jump to the comments there. I just hit 7,000. I probably annoyed JD last night. I was excited. One of my videos cracked 200. And that was a different vid. And another 2 vids hit 1,000 or more, which is amazing. Again, you're getting the reach out there. And the beautiful thing about Rumble as an app is they allow you. They're not trying to confine you to the app. They have your links directly at the top. So you have a link to your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. So if people really enjoy your content, they can explore even more, and again, it's, kind of that cross promotion thing. If you're on Twitch or Twitter, or even what I do with this podcast, this live stream is I always tell you about my other social media platforms. So hopefully, people that watch this, they go and, follow me on those platforms. So if YouTube were all of a sudden to pack it in, which they're not going to do, that at least, we're connected in another way. Or maybe, YouTube changes it or it becomes a subscription service. And back to the 1% thing, this article talks about, YouTube actually contemplating, stopping allowing people to upload videos or cutting out that portion of the under 1,000 to save tons and tons of money. I don't think they're going to do that. This is an independently written source. It's not funded. It wasn't something written by Google. It was a speculation article, but I mean, those are potentially things that could happen in the future. I mean, if Google wasn't the all-power full being that it is, multi-million-dollar thing. And I mean, YouTube generally does lose a lot of money just because of the mass volume that it has. And that's why a lot of startup platforms that do video have such a hard time, is because that much information, because video takes up so much information, is very, very expensive to run. So at the end of the day, Google knows that this is the future. And, as we've talked about, and we're seeing, especially with the addition of things like watching Major League Baseball on YouTube, as well as them, giving you cable companies that you can watch regular TV programs, is all part of their expansion. The fact that you can get our YouTube Prime, to get series like Cobra Kai, much like Netflix, it is all part of a larger strategy. So there you go. So where are we at? Mom's Universe says that's correct. VidMe views and comments were night and day compared to YouTube. Yeah. And again, smaller platforms give you that opportunity as well. And I mean, what I actually like about Rumble is it's a different format. You can't really edit much. You can edit a little bit, but you have to do it sequentially. And, it's very, very short. They're like 38 seconds long, your kind of talks. And I am one person that can talk. I think when I get going, I just don't stop. So it's hard for me. I have to cut myself off, or I don't get to say everything that I want to say, but I kind of enjoy that. I kind of enjoy trying to cramming, and I talk at like warp speed on it. So it's like super, 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 super fast. And every once in a while, I think he's appeared twice. I've appeared as the Villa Lucha, which is, for those of you who originally watched my Twitch stream when I was a FIFA Twitch streamer way back in the day. I don't even know if the channel still exists, but I used to play as the Villa Lucha. So I'm a huge Aston Villa fan. Claret and the maroon colors are Villa's colors, so the red and the blue. I have a red and blue lucha mask that I wear, and I would play FIFA, and I was like extremely obnoxious. And part of it was just keeping my identity kind of clean, but it's no secret now. But Villa Lucha's made two appearances thus far on Rumbler. So I'm just, screwing around, having a good time. So, gotta love doing different things sometimes. Rob says, I've never experienced that type of success before. It's interesting when you get that kind of success. I will say, in my experience, and I'm not huge by any account, but I've had the one viral video. And it was kind of weird. It's exciting to get that, but to the same extent, coming out on the other end, it becomes very difficult to duplicate that. And I have still failed in that department. I have failed to duplicate the success of my Go Small video. I mean, if I could have continually done that and, got videos that got, like 500,000 views, That would have been amazing, but I've been unable to do that. And I've been unable to capture an audience for that. And I know a lot of my shortcomings. One is that I do so many different things. I do the live stream, we do the podcast thing, I do the vlog thing, I do the unboxing thing. My channel is a bees nest of kind of different things, so I understand why it's probably very confusing for people, but that's just me. Like I said, I'm all over the place. That's just how I operate. That's how I operate creativity. I work on several different projects because when I stop feeling the juice, the energy juice coming out, and I'm not being overly productive in something, I will move to something else, because I find as long as I keep momentum, I'm good. The moment that you stop, for me in particular, is a time that it gets hard to get going again. It's easier to get going when you got a rolling start than it is to start from nothing. Is kind of how I operate. And sometimes with art, because I do larger art paintings, I do oil paintings, I do massive paintings that. All the time, is that sometimes I will get frustrated. I have to walk away, because otherwise it becomes not so much fun. But I always come back to it, and that's just kind of how I operate. I don't have a problem walking away from things and coming back to it later on. I don't sometimes feel like flogging a dead horse, but that's the way that I keep creative. And that's why I like having multiple platforms as well, because it allows me to do different things. I like Twitter for different reasons than I like YouTube. I like YouTube for lots of reasons. I like Rumble for a few reasons. I like Instagram for a few reasons, and I kind of like to spread myself like that. And I do that with what I do as well, whether I'm painting or airbrushing, or, doing illustration or tattoo or logo design work, or doing photography, whatever the case may be, or Photoshop manipulation. I just like to be diverse, is kind of how I like to go. Going back there, I agree. I met good people, good exposure, good networking from VidMe, and look forward to Rumble as well. Awesome. PS is down. Apparently Instagram is right down too, which sucks, because usually at night I like to play about this time. I'll usually jump on and play some Mortal Kombat, because I don't know if I mentioned this. I haven't been streaming on Twitch because my video game time, I have been practicing Mortal Kombat, because I'm doing the Pro Tour thing for Mortal Kombat. So I'm like practicing, which I think is probably the most boring thing to watch. And I probably get a little frustrated at time to time, but I'm enjoying the game, having a good time. Love the arcade stick. The arcade stick, best investment that I ever made. So there you go. I love the challenge of trying to beat the line on Rumble. That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, I've enjoyed the platform. I'm extremely grateful that they're, having a dialogue with me, and that we're able to communicate. And I'm interested to see where that goes. And, in the meantime, just, having fun, and hopefully, some of that translates, people coming over to my YouTube and my Twitter, and, seeing my, all the different things that I like to do. Pro Tour MK, that's bonkers. Yeah. Let's put it this way. I am not gonna do very well. I will get my ass kicked. It's nice to think that I could walk away with that $100,000 for the Canadian portion, but that ain't happening. I don't think it's happening. I'm okay. I do okay, but I'm not great by any stretch. It's a young pro video games is a young man's with great eyesight and great reflexes game. It is not a old man game, and that's what it is for me. I'm like old man, there. You're not with that attitude. I know what I'm at. I know what I'm at. I know the games that I'm good at, and I know what I excel at, and I know my limitations, and like I said, I practice. I do aim on getting better, but I'm not. The thing is with things like that, is that, number one, I am not 15 years old. I do not live with my parents. I don't have, I have responsibilities and bills to pay and work to do on a daily basis. And unfortunately, I can't play video games all day long, maybe like I did when I was a kid, or a lot of kids did when they were kids. That's where people truly, truly excel. in those kind of things. I mean, I've definitely had my success. I don't know if Dr. Wick's been on the stream before, but Dr. Wick, Crimson Ghost, as well. Mitch on Two Wheels used to play with us as well. We used to play Gears of War. We used to play in MLG. We used to be like top ranked in the original Gears of War players in the original days of MLG. So, and then we, all got old, and lots of them had kids and so on and so forth, and then had to get real jobs and finish college and all that kind of stuff. So, it's always fun. It's always fun. I just enjoy living life is kind of the attitude that I have. It's like do what you're gonna do, have fun doing it, and do what you want to do. Just do what you want to do. Like there's no point slogging it out doing things that you don't like doing, because life is way, way too short not to do things that you love, and not put limitations on yourself and do whatever. I kind of, I've always, like I said, I've always kind of lived my life that way. I've always done the projects that I've wanted to do. A big part of that is, having a couple near-death experiences, what I've talked about before. And again, if you want to hear those stories, you can listen to the Dude Cast, because I tell the whole story with my last brush with death, which was it was intense. It was very, very intense, and I honestly thought at that point that I was going to die, but I'm not. I'm here. I'm doing live streams and podcasts and all that kind of good stuff. So the other thing is, talking about podcasts, is that I am rolling forward with the Creative Collective podcast. If anybody wants to get involved in that, if anybody wants to be on that, by all means, let me know. Shoot me a message. I'm going to start hopefully figuring out exactly what we're going to do set wise and all that kind of stuff. What format, if we're going to do, 4 people, 2 people, 3 people, how we're going to set it up. But I'm looking forward to doing that. I kind of really want to talk a lot about, the things that we talk about here, but I definitely want kind of that input and different perspectives. I know that, and I want to thank everybody that's, responded thus far. I have, some great response from the music community. I have great response from all over. So it's fantastic that people want to be involved with the project. So there you go. Rob, heading out Crossfield Golf Course, has an extra call right now until 8 p.m. for Rust City. There you go. There you go. Good luck with that. Hopefully you get a spot in there. It'll be cool. It's cool that, the production will be here in Crossfield as well. It's going to be interesting. Going to have to kind of do some snooping about, I think, when they are finally filming, and hopefully get a glimpse or two. And I know there's some other, big productions coming this summer to Alberta as well. So awesome. So best of luck, Rob. So other than that, not a ton of stuff going on. It's like I said, it's been an interesting couple days. I'm looking forward to having these calls with Rumble, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a fun time anyways. So like I said, enjoying what you do. Just, keep in mind that, these smaller platforms may be able to help you out on some point. I'm painting on Rumble as well. So if you do happen to follow that link and head over there, by all means, give me a follow so I can follow you back. It's a bit weird to kind of find people on the platform at the moment, which is kind of thing. Thanks for the Rumble follow review. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Glad that you are on there reviewing. So this is the portion where I'm going to click the play ad button. So if you do see an ad, I apologize. Or you may not see an ad. It just really depends on the criteria. But if you guys have anything you want to discuss, by all means, throw it in the comments now. We can definitely talk about whatever you would like. Later, Rob, again, good luck. Hope you get yourself a spot. That would be super. There you go. How's it going, Dry Lime? Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate that. Remember to smash that like button. And other than that, like I said, bring on the ad parade. Laugh out loud. There you go. So you must have got hit up there. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I don't think we got anything else going on in the chat or anything that you guys want to talk about. I will see you guys all on Tuesday. Like I said, I may be chatting with those guys tonight. So anything that I can share with you guys, I most definitely will. And until next time, see ya.